Welcome back to Romany Pirates. You're joining us this week where we left off last week. We decided to stick around for a few days here because there's just so much to explore and it's absolutely beautiful. And to be honest, it gave us a little bit of relaxation time, be able to have a swim in the sea, and yeah, we've really enjoyed it. So wait to see what we've got coming up for you in this episode because there's some amazing off-grid places that we're going to show you, and we've got plenty more to show you throughout. So we're in a little place called Playa Los Calidos. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably wrong. It's right next door to what looks like a big city called Aguila. Again, probably pronounced wrong. But it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we've just noticed some abandoned buildings, so we're going to take a walk up and have a look at those.
One of the things that I've always wanted to do, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do it here, is what they call urban exploring, Urban X. It's basically finding abandoned buildings and exploring them. Have a look on like sort of other social media sites and just type in urban exploring, because the photography that some of these guys get are incredible, like old dusty pianos with moss growing out of them. Beautiful photography. And so yeah, maybe we're going to get a chance to do that here.
The guys here that we've just spoken to are from Germany. And they've actually were inhabiting this house up until February of this year, and they were saying that like the Spanish government, because there's so many abandoned buildings, are usually quite supportive of people taking over the buildings and looking after them, but unfortunately with this one they had to leave in February. But they lived here for a couple of years with their teenage son, but there were some issues, so they had to kind of move. But this is just, when you look at the pictures of what they've done, they've got a YouTube channel as well, and we were just showing us some of the videos of what they've done to it from when they first got a hold of it, and it was just filled with rubble, and they've sort of, you know, cleared all of that out and taken care of it and built it up to be something that just, well, is a home, you know.
Cool, isn't it?
It's a shame that it's kind of had to be left again because they were doing a lot of work on it, weren't they, and getting it looking good. So it's a shame.
The views from here as well, like look at that. Start having your dinner looking out at that view. It's actually a massive property as well, like it's not, the scale of it isn't really coming across, I don't think, on camera, but it's absolutely massive. There's rooms going off kind of every direction.
Our shells and mosaics.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
So pretty. It is a shame though now, because now it's going to go to Rack and Ruin
Yeah,
again.
because they've been moved out.
Yeah, and they were trying to bring it back, but they were saying that there's another person down here that currently speaks quite good English, and he's been living there for quite a long time, so it might be worth us having a little wander down there.
Yeah, definitely. So these guys up here are living completely like off-grid.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's just a shame you've had to leave it, you know, because...
Yeah, so there's all across Andalusia, there's like communities of people that are like living off-grid, which is really cool. And because there's all these abandoned buildings, they're just trying to like move in, and you know, the buildings are not doing anything anyway. So so like Emma said, it's you know, they're just trying to move in and make it better. So the guys that were living here are now just kind of living out of their campervan, because they're not allowed back in the property. It seems to be like, at first they were telling us that it was allowed to live there. The Spanish government are quite supportive because there's a lot of homelessness around here, so they're quite supportive of people kind of setting up dwellings in these abandoned properties. But now he's been asked to leave. He's literally parked his campervan right outside the dwelling. If ever there were a definition of the word paradise, this is it. Absolutely blown our minds. know when you see those films like Castaway or whatever, and they're on like a Caribbean island, on a desert island somewhere. This is it. It's like being in Pirates of the Caribbean.
So it's a real shame we've come down to this little house here, and it'd have been lovely to say hello, because you only get one opportunity, don't you, when you're passing through somewhere. But the German guy that's just up the road here explained to us that there's a couple that live in this house that have again taken over the house. It was an abandoned property. They've restored it, and that they speak pretty good English, so it would have been nice to sort of be able to stop and say hello. But what they've done with this is absolutely amazing. Like, they've just converted the whole thing. You can just see from the outside the effort and the work that they've gone to make this as beautiful as it is. It's like a dream. It's like a paradise. You couldn't get a nicer place than this, right on the edge of the beautiful sea and the beach and the palm trees. It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I don't actually think I've seen a nicer house, if I'm honest, anywhere ever. That is just, the view is spectacular, absolutely spectacular. If you got this in Ibiza, you'd be looking at about 5 million. And this was free.
It just shows you, doesn't it? Like, on the market, no idea how much that cost for a view and a spot like that. And it's free. I love it. That's a great point that Emma's just made then. Like, they're not damaging any of the environment. They're not hooked up to the grid, so they're completely off grid. It looks like they've got their own water supply, probably their own, like,
solar system
or something like that. So they're not hurting the environment, like, at all. And they're not hurting anybody. They've got beautiful plants that they've planted all around the garden, which is obviously great for the wildlife and everything like that. It's just, what an amazing
When will the governments actually, across the world, when will the governments get it into their heads that the best thing for us to all do is to be able to build our own little places, live off grid? You know, the problem is you're not paying into the big systems, are you then? You're not paying into the gas and the electricity and all the stuff that the government make money on. You know, that's the problem. You know, these people, these massive organisations that are making billions of pounds of profit and still charging everyday people an absolute fortune for the gas and electricity, and they can't afford to feed the kids. You know, if you were able to do something like this, there are thousands, millions probably, of abandoned buildings across the world that people could move into, occupy, bring back, restore, you know, and live just peacefully, not bothering anybody.
What an experience this place has been. I have to say, in all the places I've ever been in my life, I think this is the most beautiful, surreal experience I've ever had. It is literally like being in, as I said, like a Caribbean movie set. It is beyond beautiful. It really, really is. We're going to head back to Romany now and hit the road, because the whole province of Andalusia is meant to be absolutely breathtaking.
Moon is watching shallow dreams. Night is rocking her to sleep. Wind whispers in the trees.
Good morning. We spent last night in like a little sort of truck stop. Not very pretty, to be honest, but took Daisy for a walk. About 1,000 cockroaches ran across the floor by bin, and I got sandals on. Freaked out completely. But never mind. That's what you get when you're on road. You don't always stay in the most beautiful of places, but it's the word as it did what it needed to do. We're now heading to a little place called Las Negras, I think it is, or Las Negras. And we're hoping we can get a boat over to a little sort of beach area where we believe that there's like a hippie settlement there. It's, if you have to walk it, it's over an hour's walk, and in this heat and being British, we're not really used to it, so I don't think that would be ideal, and especially for Daisy. So we're hoping we can get a little boat over there. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to drive down there now. It's not a long drive, it's about half an hour, so not too far. But it is hot today, very, very hot.
So this little place is called Las Negras. We thought we could get a boat across to this like hippie commune, that's meant to be absolute paradise, but
No possible.
no possible.
No possible.
So there's no boats that go out of here. So now we have to drive to a car park. We're not sure what the road's going to be like. Park there, and then it's a 40-minute walk. But we've driven all this way, so we're gonna give it a go and just check it out.
Morning light, he's waiting to end this fight.
So we've driven around all these little back streets trying to get to this place where there's a car park, because to walk from where we were to get to this little beach where there's sort of hippie commune is, if you like, it's about an hour's walk, and in this sort of heat with Daisy it's just not doable really. It's not safe for her, and it's also like round this area it seems to get hotter towards like tea time, not cooler. So we decided that we'd go to the car park, because there is a car park set up that's near it, and then it's like more of a sort of 35-40 minute walk, and I thought that might be more doable. But every single road you take out of that village to try and get to this car park is now like a one-way street, and it's shut off and you can't get to the road that leads you onto the car park. And we asked a few of the locals, like, you know, is there any boats that go, can you take us there? And they're just adamant that no, you're not going, you can't go. It's a little bit like what we found when we were in Ibiza, when we went to Ibiza sort of first few years, where you were sort of asking people about the hippie areas, and people were adamant that they just didn't exist, and and that they didn't know what you were talking about, and that type of thing, apart from the tourist hippie areas. So it's really difficult to kind of find some of these places, but we've decided, after taking a number of kind of different roads, that it's just going to be too difficult in the van with us not knowing. It might be quite simple once you get onto that main road to get to the car park, but we're in quite a big van. We don't want to risk getting stuck going up these mountains. I don't want to feel like when I was in Pyrenees going up that mountain again. I don't think I can cope with that. So we've just decided that we're going to leave it. We're going to move on to the next place. It's not meant to be. I'm a big believer in that. That it's kind of, you just got to take life where it takes you, and it's obviously not meant to be. So we're just going to move on to the next place. And we're a bit put off anyway, because one of the reviews on there said it were a bit like the film Beaches when they got there. So we're a bit like, we're not sure whether they'll go anywhere. So, but we're heading off now to the next place. This place is like filled everywhere with plantations. I don't know if you can sort of just see there, that covered area. It's on a real slope.
8 hours of mountains. At first it was like never seen anything like it, or like, oh my god, that is absolutely stunning. Then 8 hours later, like, we're coming up to a corner now, we're coming up to a bend now. I know what's going to be around this bend. It's going to be a mountain, 100% guarantee it. Look, there it is. There's the mountain, and it just goes on and on and on for mile after mile after mile for hours and hours and hours. Like literally the whole south coast of Spain, the whole of Andalusia is mountains. It's beautiful, but it's kind of the same over and over again. This is a bit better because I've got the sea next to me, the mountains to the right of me, and the road in front of me, which is always good when you're in a van.
All the way up the mountains, there's so many plantations, absolutely everywhere. And I just think surely you could find an easier place to put them. Like, it must be really, really difficult farming that on the edge of a mountain.
Absolutely love them. Tomatoes. What's the tea tonight? Tomatoes.
It really makes me wonder.
This is why we travel. We're high up in the mountains. I'm going to have to find out what these mountains are called actually, because they've been going on for about 10 hours. It's vast mountain range. And there's these beautiful gorges running through them. And it's just like the road is snaking like that up the mountain. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
This is just absolutely breathtaking scenery, absolutely breathtaking. I really hope it's capturing it and you can see it as beautifully as we can.
place is called Offgrid. I pronounced that right. It's the first, isn't it? Just a beautiful, beautiful town. Very, very Spanish. It's just beautiful, isn't it?
People are so friendly as well. We've just been into the shop to see if we can get a lead. We've been having some problems we bought some new mics to bring with us, and unfortunately you needed an additional lead that we didn't know about, which is why our sound quality has not been very good, so apologise for that. But we've bought a really good set of Rodrigo mics. We just needed this one lead, and we've literally been to every shop in Europe and there's just none anywhere across Spain, Ibiza, everywhere. But we've just been into this shop here, and the woman's just so friendly. Everybody's just so beautiful and friendly. Lovely people.
So we just met a lovely group of people from Amsterdam that spoke perfectly good English. It's literally the first 8 words of English that we've heard since we left. I don't know where. So just like, they were nice. It's rude of us. It's really ignorant of us, and we are trying to learn Spanish. We speak a tiny little bit of Spanish, enough to be polite, really.
Yeah, and get what you need, get your shopping,
but not enough to have a conversation or anything like that.
And it's rude, you know.
It is. We are rude.
I do think there is a lot of I'm not saying everybody, but I think there's a lot of people in England that don't learn other languages because we just know that everybody's going to speak English, and it's just not right. We've got to try harder. Definitely got to try harder.
So we're just gonna head back to Romany now. We don't know whether to kind of leave because we're just parked up on a little car park. But there's a beautiful spot back up on the mountain, so we don't know whether to stay on the mountain or whether to just kind of stay in the car park where we're at. And then tomorrow there's the hippie market or a market, so we're gonna stay in this town basically and check that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Rome and get some tea.
Good sheet is it on? Is that nice? So we've just stumbled across this beautiful place. As soon as I walked past, I could smell the incense. And apparently there's a plant that that the lady has here that also gives off the smell of incense. So I'm going to have to find out what that's called. But in the back, there's like a secret hidden garden, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's filled with like Buddhas and little umbrellas and little lamps, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just like a little hippie haven. Absolutely love it. It's so nice when you find somewhere like this where you just feel suddenly welcome.
Morning guys. So we're still in the same place as we were yesterday. We slept in the little car park there because they said they've got a market on today and some kind of music festival at the little cafe bar that we went to yesterday. So we're going to go check out this market. So we found the market.
Finally, honestly, we asked everybody. We asked the police, and the police actually set this market up. They come and do the lighting and everything, and they were like, no,
there's no market.
No.
It's not possible.
It's just exactly the same as what you get in Ibiza. There is, we talked to a few of the people that run the stalls here, and they said there is a little bit of a kind of, people don't want them making the money sort of thing, and there just seems to be that seems to be a kind of running thing across a lot of areas across Europe, doesn't it, where you've got this kind of, I don't know, you want to class it as hippie alternative, whatever it is, you've got this kind of vibe going on that people don't really want other people to know about it that are visiting the town. They'd rather you be in the shops and spending money in the shops. So, but we did find it. You've got a lovely bag, haven't you?
Yeah, I bought a bag that were actually the lady that sold it to me, it was her bag, but she's got another one now, so she was selling it, so that's really nice. And I got like a macrame necklace, and you've got a lovely...
Yeah, I've got a lovely like
bits,
waistcoat and a sort of dress top. And it's just nice to find this, you know, they're not expensive. They have some cheap stuff, they have some expensive stuff. You've just got to kind of pick in between, but it's not overpriced. It's certainly cheaper than Ibiza anyway.
Yeah. Really
enjoyable day though. It's been lovely, and now we're going to head off to show you this amazing gathering it's meant to be. I'm hoping it's going to live up to what she was describing it as, but it's going to be like a small private sort of gathering with food and music, and yeah, it should be good. It should be nice.
Come down to Amanda's juice bar again that we came to yesterday with a little secret garden. Unfortunately, it's closed. She did say she was going to be open all day, but it's closed, so for whatever reason.
Something might have happened, maybe.
So that's okay. But it's a bit of a shame, really, because we're looking forward to it. But so we're going to head back to Romany now. So before we can get back into Romany and carry on along the south coast, we need some supplies. So we're just trying to find a supermarket, but it's siesta. So in siesta, everybody goes to bed from about 2 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock everything opens again. But there's a little supermarket up here that we're hoping.
Because we always sleep in, and because we're always late to everything.
Because we're lazy. I'm lazy.
In siesta, always out in siesta.
And that's the hottest time of the day as well. The only person that's cool during siesta is Daisy, because she's got about 3 cool mats and a white blanket and water that's ice cold, bless her. So the supermarket's shut.
Too far for me as well. I'm walking.
So we're just going to check out one last time to see if this juice bar is back up, and if it's not, then we're going to head somewhere anyway.
Really enjoyed this place.
We've been here like 3 days, haven't we now?
Yeah, and it's very much like it's probably the closest to Ibiza that I found. Doesn't have the same pull for me as much, but I think you'd probably find that more if you spent a bit of time in like the settlements. So there's like there's 3 sort of settlements around the main area where we are, around Offgrid, and there's 3 like little settlements. There used to just be one, and apparently a lot of people lived in teepees there, and now everybody's spread out and range their own sort of little settlements. It's not somewhere where I'd be comfortable filming in any of them, because I think they live quite privately, so I wouldn't really be comfortable taking the camera equipment down and filming and stuff. But it is somewhere that, you know, I'd quite like to go and visit on the way back. It's really quintessentially sort of Spanish, like it's exactly
Very
as you
Spanish.
manage a Spanish village to be.
Located,
Beautiful.
Surrounded by massive mountains.
Massive mountains, you're like in a valley.
I've got to drive back over in a minute.
It's absolutely beautiful. But it's like, but everywhere you go, you're not just speaking to people that speak English. They are like from Yorkshire. Like, I think half of Yorkshire lives in this village.
We're coming back through the mountain now with these kind of really windy roads. We've just pulled up in this beautiful little spot in the mountains.
Dinner. Yeah.
So we parked Romany here on this mountainside, and then set his table and chairs up in the middle of the mountains to have us dinner. Copy that, Gordon Ramsay.
You can't really see though, the river.
I can see it there. It's there. It's about 8 feet away, which is close enough. Over there is like 1,000-foot drop. You don't need to have your dinner over 1,000-foot drop. This is great, isn't it? Like, just being out here, just the freedom. I don't even know what day it is. Look at this. She's even brought all sauces and olives and balsamic vinegar and stuff. It's like Mr. Bean's picnic. So that's it from us for this week, guys. Join us next week, Monday at 8 PM as we continue to explore the south coast of Spain.
I'm having an absolutely amazing adventure. I have missed Europe so much. This is fantastic. Keep watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. It really helps us out, and we'll leave you with some of this amazing view.
See you next week,
Have
guys.
a good week.
Keep writing your own story.